Hey everyone, Ryan here, or MandRproductions, and I think we may have one of the most underrated cheap LEGO Star Wars sets of all time here in the 75015 Corporate Alliance Tank Droid. It's got 271 pieces, and when it released back in the summer of 2013, it cost just $20. That's about $27 in today's money, or on eBay, $200. Yeah, tough luck. If LEGO sold something like this today, I think it would be incredible. Then again, they would probably try to charge like $35 for it, so maybe it wouldn't be so incredible. I remember buying this one at Walmart though when it came out and just being so excited to finally have a Jango Fett for my collection because the only previous version of the figure was in the 2002 Jango Fett Slave 1. Now you might have noticed, per the figures in the box art, this is an episode 2 set within the Geonosis arena, yet there was never a Corporate Alliance Tank Droid in the Geonosis arena. So what gives? Well, it's not just that LEGO Star Wars designers threw it on there just because, apparently. It's actually in some deleted scenes CGI from Geonosis. So it's kind of a deep cut to have a Corporate Alliance Tank Droid on Geonosis in episode 2, even though it technically wasn't there. It also maybe was going to be at one point. You know, if this set had come out in 2002, maybe they got bad concept art. But to me, this is one of those few cases where maybe they made a set based off a deleted scene, basically. And I think that's kind of cool. Now, cutting open and dumping out the contents of this beautiful box, we've got a couple numbered bags and a couple of loose parts, along with our instruction manual. Now, diving into the minifigs, the most exciting one in the set, of course, is Jango Fett. He still looks great 11 years later as I'm reviewing the set in 2024. The shine on his torso is just beautiful. He's got the antenna. You also have the specific blasters for him. I mean, it is just like a standard LEGO piece that doesn't look that great, I guess, but giving Jango Fett slightly more stylized blasters and in that light gray color is really amazing. He's also got a jetpack, and they even packed a lot of detail underneath the jetpack, even though in most cases you're just going to have the jetpack on forever. They have that extra detail under there, which is great. Underneath the helmet, he's got a wonderful face print, so they did a great job with that as well, the beard and all. Just a wonderful looking figure, and this was the first Jango Fett since 2002. 11 years went by, and ignore the fact that the old Jango I have handy is a misprint, but what an upgrade. Honestly, it gives me a video idea to do a video about the biggest minifigure upgrades, because this has to be one of the top ones ever. It's incredible how much this minifigure improved and got more accurate over that span of time. It's just not something you really see nowadays with LEGO Star Wars. You really could only have that in the first decade or so when they were coming from that classic era to the modern era, and it's just really cool to see side by side there. Next up, we had an episode 2 clone trooper. This, of course, was back in the day when LEGO Star Wars actually differentiated between animated and live action armor, and I love that they did that. I think it makes these episode 2 clones look super cool. They actually look like they're from the movie they're from, and I love that. It just looks great. The only thing this figure was really missing is some leg printing, but even that isn't too distracting on a figure like this. The face underneath is just that standard angry clone face that you've probably seen a million times, and I also love the rifle on this guy. Now, we finally have the Geonosis Battle Droid, which looks awesome in this dark orange color, just a regular blaster, and what I found interesting about this one is they actually gave him the backpack, which is really cool, but if you look at all of the set imagery on the box art, they don't have the backpack on him at all. So whenever they had picture day for the set, I guess they just forgot to put the 1x2 on his back. I don't know, but in the instructions, it tells you to put it on there, so it's part of the set. This is clearly just a really great figure selection where every figure and every accessory that they had was the best that it could be for its time, and I really appreciate it. I think it still holds up very well to today. There's some small things that you notice, but these figures are still very, very good. So this was LEGO's third, and now that I think about it, actually most recent attempt at a Corporate Alliance Tank Droid build, and I think they did a great job with it. It looks fantastic. It looks just like it does in the CGI renders from Attack of the Clones. I mean, it's pretty accurate for what it's supposed to be, right? I think this area on the back end was particularly well done with the beams all coming in at a different angle to create a very nice look to it. Just somehow, some way, they figured this out and put it together, and it looks amazing. I don't know how they designed that. Then you have these translucent orange pieces built in the design, gives it a bit of color that I think it definitely needed. The build is symmetrical, so you'll find the exact same stuff on the other side here. As was all too common for the time, one of the main play features is this flick fire missile that you can push in and see lamely shoot off, or you could actually literally flick it and it actually shot like 4 feet back there. That was much better. The translucent orange eyes, of course, match the other translucent orange on the set, so they got the color scheme on lock here, and you've got some antennas as well that you can push around, but obviously I like to try to keep them up. You do have some movement on the eye there, like the whole thing can move, but again, I like to try to keep these things as symmetrical and perfectly straight as possible, but sometimes it's hard to get them in the exact same position all the time. But yeah, it looks really cool when they are. Now, one of the great play features of the 2005 Corporate Alliance Tank Tank Droid was that this entire side panel could be lifted away and you could actually place a battle droid inside of the Corporate Alliance Tank Droid. That's just not something that made its way into this model, but I guess if you really want to see what's going on inside, let me yank it off. There you go. So as you can tell with the way everything looks on the inside of this thing, it just wasn't going to happen here. And now I got to figure out how to get this back together. While I have this bear here, actually, the previous version of Corporate Alliance Tank Droid from 2009 had printed panels. But I actually think when I look at the CGI for this, these non-printed ones look really nice for this too. So I think both of them have a look that really fits. Now, the deleted scene did show the Corporate Alliance Tank Droid running over a clone trooper, so we're going to put that tread to the test, and you could run the clone trooper over. So that's a bit of a play feature there. I don't know, I'm sure that's just natural that kids might do that sort of thing, but it was in the movie, technically, as a deleted scene. Now, the tread on this is very nice. It's the same tread that they used on the previous two Corporate Alliance Tank Droids. It looks great. It definitely has a good feel to it. It lays nicely. I think there are 60 tread pieces in total going around the droid here, and the issue you'll notice on wood is that it doesn't really roll. So it doesn't really get a grip, but if we take it down to some carpet and push it along, it will get a grip and the whole thing rolls along and looks really cool as it moves. It just doesn't work on all surfaces. I'd really love to see LEGO Star Wars create more great cheap end sets. I mean, this one doesn't feel like it compromises on its build, even though it was in a $20 set with 3 figures. You know, that's just something that even $40 sets modern day, like the Republic Fighter Tank, feels like the build is a compromise, and this doesn't, and it was half the price. So that's something that I think LEGO Star Wars should draw on and try to replicate more in the modern day. For its time, this was a bona fide 10 out of 10 LEGO Star Wars set, and there's a reason that 2013 is a part of what I consider to be the golden era of LEGO Star Wars, and this set adds to that legacy in my opinion. So let me know what you think about it in the comments section below. Also, one of my favorite parts of just going back and reviewing some of these older sets is reading y'all's comments when y'all are like, oh, I got this with my mom, I got this for my birthday. Just some of the memories you guys end up sharing with me on some of these older sets is great. But yeah, you can check out more LEGO Star Wars set reviews on the end screen now.